Hello everyone, my name is Salim and welcome to the Markets Breakdown Analysis for Friday, the 17th of November 2023. We'll be breaking down chart on the exact zones who are priced to close both potential buys or close below for potential sells as well. So looking at the daily candle for Thursday, the daily has been bearish, filling the previous daily low and respecting the weak daily resistance formed on Wednesday. Now obviously we have one more daily candle, which is the daily candle for Friday, for the weekly candle to close. And the anticipation here, since we're looking on a weekly here, the weekly seems to still bullish, but as price is retracing, obviously we have a daily resistance and the Thursday daily candle closing bearish. Maybe we could possibly start to see the Friday daily candle also printing bearish and retesting those rejection area on a daily time frame. Now this might look like the weekly candle closing weak bullish with rejection to the upside, because if we zoom in again and we drop down to the daily, and what we can see, we have clean traffic on the left. Apart from this previous daily resistance formed on the left, we could anticipate for price to retest this daily highs, which this is a daily range that was formed recently. So when we keep this line, let's say the daily candle for Friday tap in these two rejection wicks on a daily time frame. When looking on a weekly, that looks like the weekly candle will be closing weak bullish with a rejection to the upside, meaning price going back to this weekly rejection area. And again, when we look on a monthly, now the question is, why would price reject the upside? Now if you put a line at this level and we look on the monthly time frame and you look on the left, what do we see? We have this rejection wick formed back on the this monthly candle formed back in November 2015. And now to break down the chart and going back to the daily again, let's have a look on the monthly quickly. Yes, so looking at the daily, so the daily will be closing bearish, dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, and what we can see here is we have the most recent 4-hour support formed all the way down to 186.320. The most recent 4-hour resistance formed around 187.650. Dropping down to the hourly time frame, and now we have a new range on the hourly. So what we're going to do, we're going to zoom in a little bit. We have the most recent 1-hour support formed around 186.890. The most recent 1-hour resistance. Now we do have this hourly resistance around 187.430. Dropping down to the 30-minute time frame. Now we have a new range on the 30-minute time frame. So if we put a line to where this 30-minute resistance, that leaves us with a really small range for price to consolidate. But anyways, let's have a look on the 50-minute time frame. Again, this is a small range. So the only thing we can see is we have this 50-minute support around 186.850. So now to identify the no trade zone, and what we can see, I would say, if we were looking for buys above this hourly resistance, so now the next level we have is this hourly range, hourly resistance, and this is a range on the hourly time frame. But when prices like this, it's always best to refer to the high time frame. In that case, what I'm going to do is I'm going to look for potential buys above 187.590, above this 4-hour resistance. I mean, yes, then price will break out of this range on the hourly. Potential sells could be below 186.850, breaking out this range again. So this is going to be the no trade zone. And to be honest, the hourly looks really messy for buys. But on the 4-hour, we have some clean areas to adjust with for potential buys. So now to look for potential buys, going back to the daily. So since the daily will be closing bearish, now the anticipation is to see the Friday daily candle to pull back, retest its daily resistance before the continuation to the downside to allow the new daily candle to form a top wick. So the first thing we can identify here is the daily resistance formed around 187.990. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, we have a 4-hour resistance. Looking at the hourly time frame, this is an hourly resistance. We have this hourly resistance as well in here. Looks like price action is much cleaner on the 4-hour time frame. So I would say the first target for buys could potentially be 187.990, targeting the daily and the 4-hour resistance. The second target for buys, now what we're going to do, we're going to put a line to where the weekly high was formed around 188.300. Dropping down to the daily, that's a daily high. Dropping down to the 4-hour time frame, now we have a 4-hour resistance around 188.160. Looking at the hourly, now this is a really small range. And looking at the 30-minute time frame, we have a 30-minute resistance, and that is around 188.240. I'd say the second target for buys could potentially be 188.240, targeting this hourly range. And now to look for potential sells and going back to the daily. So as we did say earlier, the anticipation is to see price retesting this area when we have clean traffic on the left on a daily time frame. So the first thing I can identify here is this daily rejection wicks. And this is a range that we've had previously, which is where the weekly candle closed week bullish. And for example, if you just put a line in here, this is a range on a daily. As we can see, this is the range. So the first thing we can notice is these two rejections. Drop it down to the 4 hour time frame. We have a 4 hour support around 186.310. Drop it down to the hourly time frame. That's the same level of support. Looking at the 30-minute and the 50-minute time frame, more likely will be the same level of support as well. So I'd say the first target for sells could potentially be 186.310, targeting this 4 hour support. The second target for sells, now what we can see is we have these two rejections and we have this daily resistance on the left. So let's have a look on the weekly. Yeah, this is a weekly rejection earlier. Let's have a look on the 4 hour time frame. So on the 4 hour time frame, we have this 4 hour range as well. Looking at the hourly, I'm going to say the second target for sells could potentially be 185.700, targeting this previous daily resistance formed on the left. And yes, that will allow the weekly candle to close week bullish, rejecting the upside.
Dominion Markets, your trading sanctuary.